Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I'm for the City of Heroes community gameplay going on. If you want to join in on any of these, I do these streams every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You're all more than welcome to join me on the server I'm playing on. In this round, I am playing on Rebirth, and I go from level 1 to 50. And this one, there's no restrictions on what you build what's interesting. And you can either message me in game or you can join the Discord down in the description down below and join me in voice chat. You do not need to talk. It's just I'd like to have you there for the voice chat so you can hear what I have to say in giving instructions on where we're going, what's going on, stuff like that, easier than me just stopping and having to type because it takes me a bit of time and stuff like that. But anyways, I want to go ahead and get into doing some missions here. Let's see, we were doing X, a couple of these missions. Okay, go King Bro, gotta go King Bro anyways to talk to this contact. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Helps if I recenter the character, doesn't it? Go. Let's run over King's Row. Perfect timing. Train just got here, so King's Row. I think I took Carol contacts. Him. Teleport that. Here. Right there's good. Walk the rest of the way. Contact. What else is going on? Available missions. Do that one. Okay, so I have that set up. What's contacts? Got that new contact. He's in King's Row. We'll pick him up. The detective. Okay, they're all in Steel Canyon for those. So these. Call him. Oh wait, no. That's right. Never mind. We're already full up on missions. So we'll do this one first. It is Russian here. Teleport up to here. Is okay, we're in. I don't have any. Yeah, we haven't taken any where we can just. I forgot that I had ranged. I forgot I was a guardian. This guy out of the way. Go. We're almost 11. Get both of them. Did excellent. Next we'll get this guy. We got that guy. Animation feels a lot more fluid. Doesn't have that half snap that I was seeing. That's good. Looks like it was just a lag issue or something. We got him. Let's get this guy out. He's out of there. 2 more hostages to get. Nice, knocked down the other guy. So we can get a good hit on them. Decent damage. Oh, and there's level. Okay, let's get this guy out. I like that they were both in the same room. Hopefully not all 3 of them are in there. Okay, and he just walks off into the sewers. Didn't even have a chance. Oh, I missed. Haha. Done and done. Okay, now find the last guy. Okay, let's... I think some talking going on over there. Get both? Nope. That's okay, he walked in melee range. That's to more guys. Or more power, should I say. Wander around. Loop around those pipes. Good on endurance. My regular roll. I think I put damage on? Positive. Look when I do enhancement up. Increase my enhancements. Got that one. Half endurance, still doing good. Nothing down that way, nothing down that way. Have these guys to deal with. Good with endurance. Great with health. No, you don't. Don't get to get away that easily. Hatch area. Be the last spot. Get both of them. Did. This guy up on the walkway. Rise, shall we say. A little bit closer. Got him, okay. There, no one's up there, so take this guy out. Put some range on that one. That's what I'm thinking. Melee hit on him. That one. I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna need it. That missed. Do it. Yes, I can. Excellent. Hopefully all my attacks land. Done there. Now we run out with our rescued hostage. Of course, if we were playing villains, it would be our hostage, but not going anywhere. They're good and safe. I'm out of here. Still with us? They're still with us. Excellent. Sometimes the NPCs get caught, they walk slow, can cause problems, make the mission a lot harder. But I just like to keep, like, oh, okay, there. Right behind me, never mind. This is where they could get stuck. The pathing sometimes can get a bit confused for them. And how I get through this. See what happens. Excellent, they got through it perfectly fine. With me, that's good. At this point, make sure that they get here. Voila, since I'm right at the exit, no reason to hit the exit button. We'll just hit the exit itself. Okay, so that mission's done. So map, what's closer? This one's closer. So take that mission. Here. Oh. Here. Excuse me. Oh, it's this one. I know this one. Head this way. Specific point. Find that the person's taken out. Run our way out. Almost memorized the entire thing of this because if I remember correctly on this mission, the map isn't random, it's a preset map, so you just have to know your way. There. Because it's a main storyline mission type thing. I think all the heroic ones, they have the map static. Everything else is random. Now we fight our way out. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Done. Their Tommy guns were no match. Come down to here. Way here. That flight I could have just flown up. Actually, I could have teleported up to the top of this, but give myself a slight little bit of a challenge. Not like there's much challenge here. And mission done. Let's get that third mission. Missions. Port. Well, it's a bit of a ways away, so we're better off teleporting. There. I'm not gonna bother with them. They hit hard too. That one hit took a nice little chunk off. Okay, let's see. Here. This ability, so I get all of them, or at least 2 of them. Gotta fix that missing problem. Got that one. Okay, low on health. Endurance. This. Take this guy out. We only got that one. That's good. I'll wait for the top again. There we go. Okay, hold. Oh. Get the other one. Missed, that's why. Got that. Going to got that one. Those guys there definitely might need more endurance. Take them on. I'm not going to use rest. So let my endurance gain up normally. Actually, while I'm waiting, I can do this. Or that. Damage in. There we go. Accuracies. This. Accuracy onto this. Here. Tab 2. This one. We got a flight. We got endurance. So this one. This in. Get it up even. Here. I'm gonna sell that flight. Don't have anything. Eight. Go. All taken care of. Our endurance is fully up. So going to this battle ready to rock. No, we're gonna stay away from that because those like to explode. We'll go up and do one melee out just to get a good chunk of damage. See, they explode. I know I have defensive capabilities, but still, they can knock you down, do fire damage, just not fun. way. Just so we can get some more attacks in. Now we'll run up on her. Those groups are down. Let's use some an accuracy here. Like that accuracy helped with that. It can't help you. All right, more rest time. All right. Yeah. Wait for our endurance to get back up. Nope. Bunch of inspirations. No one here. On endurance. Here. Switch it up some. More damage output. Hit the ones closest to us because, well, guess what? Got more attacks. If they will hit. There's that. Next. Perfect. Wanted to get the full effect on the yellow. Low on endurance, up on inspiration for endurance. Okay. Blew it up. Get our endurance back, and we'll continue on. Just a time reduction. Have anything that really needs it? Did get all three, no, missed the one. Take them out while they're on the ground. That one. Solo here by itself. Not by herself. Tenant hanging around the corner. Yeah, they had a rough time go of that. Considering the fact that knock them down, they get up, knock them down. Hey, Sticky! Skulls are never alone. They are alone when it's the last one you taking out the others. You take the last one in the building out, they're alone. Oh yeah, the sledgehammer ones are a pain. The knockdowns that they have. That one. These guys out. Really work on that. Okay, well. Got him. Let's take this last guy out in the main hall here. Checking around, making sure I don't have sledgehammer. You jinxed me, Sticky. You jinxed me. That's my job. Yeah. Hey, it makes the stream more interesting and fun. Their baseball bat attack was useless. Got everyone here. Looks like we did. Yeah, but I don't see you as a troll. I see you as a good quality member of the community. If you're a troll, you're the friendliest troll I've ever met. Enhancement found. This. I'm gonna get my endurance up. Someone post a why CH was good and why it died video. I wondered what the heck do people not know about the servers? Yeah, true. I mean, I got plenty of videos out there talking about the private servers and the different private servers and how I connect to them and stuff like that. So, there, and YouTube, simple search. I play City of Heroes in 2000, and it will pop up my videos. Same with do a Google search. I'm the number one that pops up on those. Yeah, very, very true. You are no way that kind of troll. You are no psychopath in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, people don't search that much and do research that much nowadays. And that's a bummer. But you deal with what you gotta deal with. Well, it's just like when I put out a game and I say that the art's a work in process, it's not the finished art. And I put in big bold red letters at the very beginning, and the only thing people complain about is the art. Like, really? Did you not read the message that the art is unfinished? And I literally just point out to him. And you never hear from him again, People just not doing the due diligence. I need to heal. I think I'm going to throw some accuracies into this fight. Okay, got that all done. I'm gonna rest up for a moment. Yeah, but I mean, okay. You got a point there, but then if you look at all those Call of Duties, the reason they have to come out with a new one every year is new technology comes out, and using those realistic graphics dates the game. You look at World of Warcraft or City of Heroes or EverQuest. How often do they update their graphics? I think EverQuest updated their graphics, what, twice? In the 25 plus years that the game's been alive. City Heroes never updated their graphics. World of Warcraft never updated their graphics completely. And stuff like that. So I honestly, I prefer the hand-painted textures over the realistic textures. And the reason being is you don't have to worry about dating the game. Yeah, that's people just being arrogant. I mean, a lot of my videos about Stars Reach pre-alpha. I literally put in the video pre-alpha. People complain about the graphics. People complain about the bugginess of it. I'm like, did you not read the word pre-alpha? It hasn't even released yet. It's not even completely finished yet. I'm just showing you what they've done so far. And people still complain. People will complain just to complain. And that's the thing. Yeah, and it's personal preference. I mean, there's people out there that play video games for the graphics. There's people that play video games for the special effects. There's people that play video games for the animation. There's people that play video games for the sound effects and the music. There's people that play video games for the gameplay mechanics. It's all up to the person on what they prefer for the video games. I'm a person that prefers the gameplay mechanics, but I also grew up with 8-bit graphics. I grew up with Pong. I grew up with Pac-Man. I'm used to that kind of thing. So I have no issues with that kind of stuff. If there's good gameplay mechanics in it, I'm hooked. City of Heroes has that good gameplay mechanics, which is why I'm hooked. No Man's Sky has a good gameplay mechanics, which is why I'm hooked. Stars Reach is putting in and building good gameplay mechanics, which is why I'm hooked. Hey Draco, how's it going? Well, here's the thing. Charging players to play it has happened for a long time. When I did Star Wars Galaxies and was in the testing for that and for the testing of PlanetSide, which were both being worked on at the same time, that was back in 2003, I had to pay $50 each time because they had to send me the discs to install the game, because this was just before broadband and high-speed internet was coming about. So most people were still on 56K internet. And so you can't download a 10 gig game on that kind of speed. It would take forever. So they had to print the discs and then ship it to you, and that cost them money, especially when they were doing such a low run of discs. So I had to pay the $50 for each of those, and then when the game came out, I had to pay another $50 for the released versions of those discs. Yeah, I mean, heck, there are original Atari developers still making new Atari games. And that's what I find very interesting and cool, is that we get those Atari 2600 developers still making new games. And that's because Atari re-released the Atari 2600 with HDMI setups on them, that people could play the Atari games again on newer monitors. Exactly. And to this day, look at early access on Steam. Early access, you're paying for the game in early access. Early access is in alpha state or beta state. You're paying for that. The only time you don't have to pay to test a game is when you're either they're desperate for testers and they just need testers and they're a small company, or if you're a professional game tester and it's your job, then they're paying you to do that. Well, that's because well, one, Nintendo, their CEOs and executives are all businessmen now. They're not game developers. When the CEO of Nintendo, was no longer there, they went with a business oriented CEO. And that's the reason why prices are going up, quality's going down, and all these bad decisions are being made, like lawsuits left and right, patenting of stupid stuff, and things like that. There's a business person at the very top. So they're just going to make business decisions. They're not going to look at the past history on what made the company good and strong. They're only looking at the money. They're only thinking of shareholders. They're not thinking, if we treat the customers well, it's going to bring in more money, which will make the shareholders happy. They're just saying, make shareholders happy, screw everything else. Yes, they were. They did they made card games when they originally started Nintendo. No, they when Nintendo started making video games, their higher up, their CEOs and higher ups were video game designers. And that's the reason they did so prevalently well for so long, is they kept their executives and their CEOs and stuff like that as people from the gaming industry. And that's the reason why they do well. I mean, you look at BioWare when it started. Their CEO, game developer, did game development work, and their quality was good. What happened when those guys left and they put in another regular executive in as CEOs? They started tanking. It happens everywhere. It's because when you have a CEO in the position that understands the company, understands the industry, they understand their customer base, you get good, decent products. You bring in a CEO who just knows business and how to run companies and don't understand the industry or the lifestyle of the company they're working for, they run it into the ground. Well, it depends on what parts of Warner Brothers is sold off to Netflix. It may just be parts here and there, just like when Fox sold off to Disney. They sold off the movie and TV show franchise part of it, not their supposed news network, which really, they're not licensed as news. They're actually licensed as entertainment. So, but the Fox kept hold of Fox News, but sold everything else off. It's some of the money makers. I mean, Warner Brothers also has Looney Tunes. It has several of its own movie franchises that make good money. So I think it could be a 50-50 split there. And considering how they've been doing movies recently for DC, their DC movies really aren't a moneymaker. Yeah, Warner Brothers has always been let's bring this back, and then it goes away, and then let's bring this back, then it goes away type of place. They don't stick with something. That one and an enhancement. And ooh, recipe. Cool. Let's take care of the moose first. That solved that problem. Talk to him real quick. Voila, done. Yeah, it's business folks. Because also take a look at Firefly. The executives did not understand the Firefly, so they ran it out of the episodes out of order and didn't even give it a full season to catch on and just canceled it. You know, when a business CEO doesn't understand something, instead of trying to understand it and gain knowledge, there's like, nope, we're just gonna let go to the wayside. Contacts. Need to actually go to him here. The good CEOs, when they come in, they will learn every aspect of the job. They will get to understand the basics of every position. Because a good businessman knows what's needed for each position. Because then they get a full understanding of what the business is like. Defeat them. Let's go contacts. Call. Missions. Yes. Here. Missions. All that. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do all of this. The Lost. And Lost. Yeah, I 100% agree with that statement of what men fear, they destroy. It's 100% accurate. And then there's also those people who just like to cause fear and put fear into place. Yeah, and that's the problem with publicly owned companies is they have a whole entire board that dictates things. Not one person can sit there and say this is what we're doing. And that's why if I get my game company off the ground, I'm not going to go public. I'm not going to have a board. I'd rather have the people working on the game making the decisions and working with the community on the game. Did I get it? This was... Oh, I did. Okay. Well, and that's the thing, is the indie companies are like, oh, this is more money. And so they're like, yeah, sure, why not? Not realizing what's going to happen. Just like, I'll never sell, if for some reason my company takes off and like EA comes to me and says, hey, you know, we want to invest in you, I'm going to tell them no. It is not going to happen. And it's because I don't want what happens to most companies under EA, which is either you fall in line with exactly what they want, or they, you know, tear you down. They dismantle you. And even then, they slowly dismantle you by forcing you to do things that aren't good for the franchise. I mean, the only reason Respawn got away with Apex Legends is because they told EA that they were working on a Titanfall game. And a way, you know, that is in the Titanfall universe. It's not a Titanfall game, but it's in the Titanfall universe. And EA executives didn't know about it until the day they came out with did the live stream talking about the game, announcing the game, and saying, oh, by the way, you can play it now. And EA executives probably went to go yell at them, but then saw the sale records and said, oh, never mind. You're making us a crap load of money hand over fist. We're not going to yell at you. If the game hadn't sold as well and made them as much profit, EA will have gone and yelled at them and probably torn Respawn apart and dismantled it. Yeah, that's the thing. They could offer me $100 million or $1 billion for the company. I'd still tell them no. Because I'm one of those people that I'm more about the integrity of the art and the process than selling out for cash. Yep. Go here. Oh, the animation broke again. Only doing a half cycle of the animation, so there's a bug there with the animation. Something goes on that causes it to break. So the animation is truly bugged. The animation right there, because it's stopping halfway through its cycle. There we go. It's gone back to normal. Interesting. So, with these community gameplays, the plan is I play through the game on a server, get the character level 50, I retire the character, I move to another server, create another character, sometimes with a theme, sometimes with no theme. This character has no theme. I'm a decent way through because I'm, 11 now. So, we're about 1/5 of the way through. Yeah. But the thing is trying to fix the bug can be really hard for them. And the reason it can be really hard for them is custom game engine, and they're not the ones who created the game engine or created the game. So they have to search and learn and things like that. So, that's why some of the servers haven't fixed or aren't able to fix the mastermind pet bug that was in even the live version near the end. I think it was introduced during the what was it? The Going Rogue update. The mastermind bug I'm talking about. Where ranged pets will focus on melee attacks, and melee pets will focus on range attacks. Yeah, and those are the hardest bugs to track down. The hardest. There we go. He's down. Yeah, but here's the thing. I like it when a bug that's not meant to be and breaks sort of the immersion and what's supposed to be is fixed. So the whole entire mastermind pets focusing on ranged pets focusing on melee and melee pets focusing on ranged, I want that to be fixed because the ranged pets literally have very few melee attacks, and they'll ignore their melee attack or their ranged attacks a lot and just focus on the very few melee attacks they have, and so they're not as attacking as much. That, when you're trying to be tactical like I like to be with my masterminds in organizing things, you're expecting those attacks to be there the way you want and for them to respond the way you're used to. So if they would have came out that way when City of Villains came out and masterminds were first introduced, I'd be fine. Not a problem. But because it's a bug that was introduced later, those types of bugs I want fixed. Because if the game comes out and the bug's there, a developer can easily go, that's a feature that's not a bug. Whereas if the feature is there and there's no bug to it, and then later on something causes there to be a bug on it, they cannot come out and say, oh no, that's a feature. It's a lot harder for them to spin that. And they have to give a lot more justification onto why is it a feature. Got him. Yeah. And that's one feature that I don't mind. Just like what was it? The ragdolling. I normally hate ragdolling in games. I don't like ragdoll physics in games. But in City of Heroes, I actually enjoy it. It fits. You know, same with jiggly weights. A lot of the times I am completely anti jiggly weights. I don't like jiggly weights because all developers do is just create big breasted women and then make those, put the jiggly weights on the breasts. The one game that I really liked that they did is when they went 3D on Street Fighter and they put in this heavy set male fighter and they put jiggly weights on his body. It was like, okay, this is perfect. This is what jiggly weights are meant for, is things like that. Or if you bring out a character's bringing out jello, having jiggly weights on the jello makes sense. Putting jiggly weights on it just so you can have a woman's anatomy bounce around to arouse the viewer, no, that's stupid to me. Well, if you ever look at a real fight, there's some ragdoll, but the thing is there's physics to it in how it moves around. The problem with ragdolling in video games is it doesn't look realistic. The body's twisting and contorting and doing things that a normal body wouldn't do. Couldn't do. It'd break bones. The person wouldn't be able to stand up afterwards, type of thing. And that's the kind of ragdolling I don't like. Well, exactly. And that's the reason why, like, playing a Conan video game. You can't say that a Conan video game sexualizes women by putting them in scantily clad bikinis, because look at Conan. All he's wearing is a loincloth and boots. So it's equal objectification. And that's fine for me. If you're going to put a man in a full suit of plate armor, you need to put the women in a full suit of plate armor. Pure and simple. 50-50. Okay, I need to rest the character. I'm going to take some of these accuracies, turn it into a heal. I've also done endurance. Ah. Got ambushed. I should have just gone with the heals, but there we go. Now we rest up. If we don't get ambushed again. Speaking of getting ambushed again, let's keep an eye on that stairwell. I know. Well, that's the great thing I like about City of Heroes is the fact that they can, they script in ambushes, or they have the script set up to where when it builds a mission, it can place in an ambush point and trigger point and stuff like that. And I really like that about City of Heroes. The Nemesis told them your location. Rooms real quick. What's up? Here. Positioning is key with opponent attacks. Especially when you have piercing shot. Getting all of the enemy lined up in a row and then doing a piercing shot is so fun. Those all done. Oh, I was gonna hold off. Not anymore. Nice, knocked the guy in the back down. I do have some rest. I want to rest. Yeah, but I mean, they're mooks. What do you expect? Even time that comic put a good storyline to a no-name mook. Run my punch. I mean, in all honesty, if you really wanted to see a mook or the mooks get an interesting storyline, you can always start up your own City of Heroes private server and create one. I'm hoping I survive this. Got him down. One more. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Can I get to it in time? I can. Oh. Okay, got them down. I know I have the assassin to deal with next, so I'm going to get full health. I am not dealing with that assassin on full health because it's a stalker. Planet of the Mooks. you know that has to be a campy story. Oh, that's cool. What server did you do that on? I'm gonna wait for full health. That way I have no excuse. There we go. If I can output the damage more than she can, which today is happening. I think I'm gonna lose this one. Oh, look at how close that was. Oh my god, that was so close. I was a sliver of health. It's going really good. Just barely survived the mission. Good thing I waited till I was full health. There is level 12, which automatically heals me up. And that's the thing I like in City of Heroes, is that when you level up, you get in full health, full endurance, and then a set of inspirations automatically put on you that give you some really strong feeling power. No, that's the base portal. I want the base portal. I want. There he is. Let's teleport. Blue shield. Or blue steel. And get some more enhancement slots. And more powers. And I overshot it. Oops. Train to new level. Train up. Let's put one there so we get some defense and one there. Close that. Train up again. Let's go agile. Close this. Enhancements, manage. Pop that into agile. Oh, healing. Okay, there we go. Healing, done. Okay, and then I got a damage one here. What about it did you not like? What threw you off? What made you what was there some kind of like gameplay mechanic you didn't like? You didn't like the art style, you didn't like the story? Because this channel covers more than City Heroes. I also cover No Man's Sky and several other games. So I'm always interested in helping others out and finding good games or understanding a game if they're having problems with the game. The grind is not as bad as, like, let's say, EverQuest. EverQuest's grind can be really, really bad if you're coming from, like, World of Warcraft or, a normal game. EverQuest grind, original EverQuest. I'm not talking current day EverQuest. I'm talking original EverQuest. That grind is harsh. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you mainly watch my No Man's Sky videos and stuff like that. In fact, I'm planning on doing a live stream at some point in time when I have the time, where I'm gonna sit down and want to build a cool Corvette ship with the community, and also build a really interesting base with the community where chat determines what's built. I think that's going to be really fun. But right now, my focus is, because I've got a good relationship with Playable Worlds and Stars Reach developers. I'm really sort of focused on that and getting them known, because I think a lot of No Man's Sky players will like what Stars Reach is doing, especially those No Man's Sky players that like crafting and would like to have an economy around crafting, a better economy. Stars Reach will be amazing for that. yeah, well, that's the way, Sticky, that's the way EverQuest is you can D-level. I spent a year working on getting level 50, going from level 49 to 50 in EverQuest, because it took me like 6 months, because I was working a full-time job, so it took me 6 months to get to fill up the experience bar for level 50. And I got 50, and then my character died, and I lost 50, and so it was another 6 months of going back and forth between gaining 50 and losing level 50. You're more than welcome to join my community. I like playing with others in No Man's Sky. I'm going to be very excited to play with people in Stars Reach. I play with people in City of Heroes. In fact, that's what the stream right now is about, is playing with members of the community that play City of Heroes and stuff like that. And I want to find a way to do that in No Man's Sky, but unfortunately the netcode for No Man's Sky just isn't up to snuff. And so it's really sort of hard to play with others in No Man's Sky because of that. Otherwise, I'd be doing a lot of that. Oh, when we were working on the theme park, I remember working on the theme park, doing the racetrack, creating the bumper car area for vehicles in No Man's Sky, and little things like that. Yeah, we had to tear that all down. The reason we had to tear that all down was in No Man's Sky, your whole entire account is limited to how many base parts you can have in total. And so in order to be able to build my floating castle base, my floating island castle base with the fishing dock area below it and the spaceport floating on the sea, I had to delete that theme park, unfortunately. Yeah, that was when Zawi was joining on regular streams and helping out. Getting stuck in plants. I remember getting stuck in plants, yeah. That was a tricky one to get out of. Yeah, but I mean, so I'm really sort of interested in Stars Reach right now because it brings my passion of sci-fi and what No Man's Sky brings in, and brings my passions of MMOs together. And the fact that it's built by one of my favorite game developers and game designers, Raph Cosner, who was the lead designer on Ultima Online and the lead designer on Star Wars Galaxies, and bringing the influences from those, and that they're having an actual living world really interests me. And the gameplay mechanics that they actually have in that game get me addicted to things that I'm normally not addicted to in games. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Sticky. That gives me more Star Trek vibes, and especially now with the Corvettes and being able to build things that, you know, ships that can look like Star Trek ships. Like I have a video out there on Voyager, a video I'm working on right now where I'm going to show people how to build something that looks like the Defiant in No Man's Sky. Is, you know, a very great thing. God, I'll do moral support. Let's see. Contacts. Oh, yeah. It did in certain stages. I mean, it was exploring brand new worlds. It was good in Star Trek Next Generation, or original Star Trek Next Generation. It lost it with Deep Space Nine, but Deep Space Nine was just about the universe itself and it's put on a space station. It didn't really have it that much in Enterprise. It did bring it back with Voyager and stuff like that. So it's sort of hard. The thing that I'm having a problem with Star Trek is they keep on changing the looks of the races. Like they've changed the look of the Klingons like 3 or 4 times. And I'm just like, okay, I'm done. You guys can't keep a consistency of what the races look like. I'm gonna back away. No, it doesn't matter what you play on in the No Man's Sky community. And the great reason being is because of the cross platform capability in play. Someone playing on PlayStation 5 can play with someone on an Xbox and a PC. Or a Switch 2. Or a Mac. And then you also have the cross saves. So wherever you build in, let's say you're playing on an Xbox, you build something on the Xbox, then you jump onto your PC, you can see that build and continue building on the PC. And then let's say you're on the go, so you grab your Switch 2 and you're out and about, you can continue doing the build you were doing on the Switch 2. And I really like that. Hey Axel, how's it going? Well, there were some good Q stories, and you know they brought in good reasonings to it, and I had fun with some of the Q stories. Yeah, not a problem. What do you play on? What system do you play No Man's Sky on? I remember this mission now. I mean, in my room, I have a computer, I have an Xbox, and a Switch. And so the only thing I don't have is a PlayStation. That's just because I don't have the money. See, that's just wrong. They shouldn't not like you because you have an old gen Xbox. I have an old gen Xbox One. There's no problem with that. As long as you can play, who cares what system you're playing on? And that's where the community I'm building here is not an elitist community. It's not, oh, you have to be on PC, or you have to be on the best PlayStation, or you have to be on the best Xbox. No. It's about hanging out, having fun, getting to know one another, and, you know, basic respect. Down there. Here. It's been a while since I've done this way, or done this mission, so I'm losing a bit of the way to go, but now I've got it locked in. Yeah, I want the other thing I like to build in this community is thinking outside the box. It's not a min-max community. It's not a you have to play this way community. It's a, hey, this is the way I play, and other people look at it and go, oh, okay, that's cool. And some of them may even want to copy that way you play the game. That's the type of community I want to build. Anyone who comes in and says you're doing that wrong on my Discord, on any of my socials or anything like that, or on the YouTube channel, comment gets deleted and they get a talking to. If they do it again, they get banned. They're gone. I will not put up with people who say this is the only way you can do it. This is the best way to do it. They can come by and say this is the best way for me to do this. This is the way I like to do things in a game. That's fine. But trying to tell someone else how to play a game, no. Yeah, Stone Dominators. I actually have a Stone Dominator that I did sort of like an Earthbender vibe too. I like that. Chaos. Don't do that. Invasion to the void. I mean, the thing is I don't like people who think they're better than others. I'm not a big fan of that. I think everyone has their weaknesses. Everyone has their strengths. And that's fine. You know, what you may be really good at, I may be really terrible at. What I'm really good at, you may be, not so good at. But here's the thing. You can learn from the person who does something really good that you're not good at, that you want to get better at. And so that's part of the other thing I like about this community that I'm building, is the fact that I'm here to help others out with, something they're struggling with in the game, or if they're new to the game and sort of lost on how to do something, guide them in the right direction. And I've noticed that on the Discord and on the YouTube channel in the comments, others will jump in and help out and give extra tips on how to do things and stuff like that to help others out. And I think that's really great. So I always like those comments and I respond with thank you for the great tip. I appreciate that. I didn't know that, or oh, I forgot to mention that in the video, or whatever. And lift that person up who's helping others, because I always like the idea of helping out others. Oh yeah, and that's the thing. You know, critiquing something is different than criticizing it or putting someone down because of it. I won't put up with someone criticizing and putting someone down, but if they're doing a critique and trying to say, you know, here's another way to do this that you're wanting to do, or, you know, I've had ones where the audio wasn't good and they'll come in and they'll say, hey, the audio was off on this, there was this odd sound or whatever. I respond to them of a thank you for letting me know that. I'm going to work to fix that and find out what's causing that problem. Just like I've had live streams where I had my mic turned off, or I was doing a group live stream and I didn't have the Discord set up on the live stream for the live stream. So you were hearing me talk, but you couldn't hear the other people in the stream. And so I immediately fixed that. I'm always happy to take, critiques and input on how to better something. And I think anyone who wants to learn and be better at something should always be willing to take critiques. And that's another reason why I'm really into Star's Reach, is Raph Costner, who's the head developer for it and has over 30 years of experience making video games, especially MMOs, has literally came out and gone, look, I know how to make MMOs and I have an idea what I want to do, but if players come up with a better way, or if someone comes up with a better way to do it, I want to listen to what they have to say. And he doesn't just say that, he proves it. And one of the ways they've proven it is they've given us homesteading and being able to plant plants into the world. And then they were working on the farming skill tree for that. But then they were seeing what we were doing and what we were saying in suggestions on the Discord. And then they went, you know what? Our plans for farming aren't good enough. So they went back to the drawing board, reworked farming, came back to go and implement it, and wait, there's new information. They're doing things a new, interesting way that we can even make what we had redone even better. So they brought back to the drawing board to redo again. It just shows that they're listening to the community and getting feedback from the community to make the game better and more enjoyable for the player base. I've been there. I have been there with getting bullied because I also have disabilities and I have a hard time reading. I have astigmatism where my eyes shake, and not just up and down or left and right. They shake both up and down and left and right. So I could be reading one word in a paragraph, and the next thing I know, I'm 2 sentences down, 3 words to the right, reading that word, and so I'm mixing the letters together. So when I read things, I have to read it like 5 to 6 times to get the full gist of what I'm reading, which is why some of the times my responses with the multiple sentences take me a bit of time, as I want to make sure that I'm getting the gist of it. And sometimes I will make mistakes, and I will admit when I misread something and someone brings up to me that, oh, you misread that. I have a video out there talking about how to make millions of units making this one cake. And in that video, when I was reading off the ingredients, I misread meringue as margarine. And I said, you want to make margarine? And people said, it's meringue, not margarine. And the first person to laugh at that was me. I was the first one to respond and say, oh my God, that's so hilarious. I apologize. You're right. It is meringue and not margarine. My eye disability, that's a great mistake. Thank you for bringing that up. I said I'm literally laughing so hard right now at myself for my mistake. So with you saying that, once again, this is where I think you'll fit in, because if anyone tries to bully you in my community, one, I'm going to take care of the issue as soon as I see it. Two, a lot of the community will back you up and support you. I have a zero tolerance for bullying. Zero. I will not put up with it. I cannot stand it one bit. Alex is right. I can never read his name. And that's a great example. Axel there. When he first came in, I read his name as Alex. And he corrected me. And it took several times for him to correct me because my eyes kept jumping around. I kept on accidentally calling him Alex. So now as a running joke and gag, every so often, just for the fun, I'll call Axel Alex. I almost said Alex first. That way I had to stop myself. Now, the question I have is it that you can't do it, or that it's just really hard for you to do? Because I know with some disabilities, it makes it harder for you to do things, and there are a lot of obstacles in the way. And in other disabilities, you just purely cannot do it for either a mental reason or a physical reason. And so I know that there's both sides to it. Okay, no, you just can't. Okay. Yeah, meringue is a weird word, and with, my eye jumping and stuff like that, makes it even worse. Okay, Axel? Instead of dark spider, what about neon pink spider? And neon pink just so that glows in the dark. Because so many people are afraid of spiders, and they freak out when they see them. So they always see that you're a spider, so they never really get close. And by having it maybe even a neon yellow or something like that. Something unique and different. Just spitballing ideas out there. Having fun with it. And, that's understandable. Dart, here's the thing. I also have cerebral palsy. And so I did work from the age of 16 all the way into 40. And then my back started acting up on me, and I'm actually on disability myself because of my disabilities. So I know how that is, and that can be rough at times. But what you could do is, and you might want to think about it, may not be for you. Every person is different. But for me, I'm actually working on building my own businesses. Find something that you're passionate about, something that you like, and that you're good at, and maybe turn it into a business. Can I survive this? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm passionate about gaming, and so I run this YouTube channel, and I I have my print-on-demand store that's all about gaming, and I'm also developing a game because I'm passionate about the game development side of things. And the reason I'm on disability is no place will work with me in my schedule. I cannot sit or stand for more than a couple hours. And I have to go lay down and rest my muscles because they get too fatigued nowadays. And so no company will hire me to work for them because they expect for me to sit at a desk 8 hours at a time or stand for 8 hours at a time. Even if it's a work from home, they want to have a camera and make sure that I'm sitting at that desk, even though I could be doing the work on a laptop laying in my bed. So, wait, Axel, you're saying you're not a 12-year-old girl? I mean, sorry, I just had to say it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it could be that you come up with an idea for a superhero that is a kid. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, look at Kick-Ass. They have Hit Girl. They have, DC has Robin. There are kid superheroes in comics and have been for a long, long time. Well, it's not just different views, it's different capabilities. There's, I know a guy that is really, really smart, and his cerebral palsy is so severe that he has a hard time moving around. It affects his full entire body, including his larynx, so he can't even speak. When tablets were just starting to come out, and not even out to the public, but for military and special needs and stuff like that, he got one, and they literally put one of the beginnings of text to speech, where it had the very rough robotic voice. And that's when people started seeing his brilliance, because he was typing up smart answers, quick-minded and stuff like that, and the teacher got all upset because the kid was able to show how smart they really were. And it's having the right tools to be able to show what you're capable of when you're disabled. Well, here's the thing. Axel, my grandmother used to always tell me, you're only the age you think you are. My grandmother was the one that got me in the most trouble. We almost got ticketed on a golf course because I was driving the golf cart. What did she do? She waited for the guard to go around the corner and she put me back in the driver's seat of the golf cart. There's several other stories about stuff like that. So, that's sort of up in the air. Well, right now, the thing is I'm sort of trying to focus more on getting my video game done. So I sort of pulled back on the live streaming stuff that I do. I do want to do some special episodes of No Man's Sky stuff like, community base building, community Corvette building. I plan on doing those, and I have some stuff that I want to do for Stars Reach, doing some 3D modelings of spaceship ideas and stuff like that. It's finding the right time for them. Right now, I'm trying to sort of lock down my game development times and get that really locked in, because I'm past the research point, so I'm in the actual development phase of it. Once I fully get that locked in, I'm going to be able to then lock in times that I can stream No Man's Sky and Stars Reach stuff. Well, here's the thing. The Sticky talking about that work from home thing. When you go to disability court, the judge will talk to a work expert. And when they talk to the work expert, and the judge brought up of what about work from home? Can he work from home? And the work expert said no. When he said that he tried applying for work from home jobs and they said they wanted him to sit at a desk 8 hours a day, that's because he's right. They're actually having a camera on you and physically watching you do the work. If they see you laying in a bed, they'll terminate you. And that was one of the determining factors that actually got me disability. Was that, and plus the fact that I was up for it and said, I have a YouTube channel. I'm trying to build a business with that YouTube channel, with my print on demand, and with my video game companies, and hopefully one of those really pops off and makes at least a living for myself so I can support myself and get myself off disability. And the judge admired that I was upfront and honest about that, so they approved my disability. And when I walked out of court, the last thing that they said is, I hope your businesses are successful. I hope you can become a millionaire doing this stuff and get off disability. And I said, look, if I end up becoming a millionaire, I'm not going to go out and buy big mansions and stuff like that. I'm going to hire more people. I'm going to pay them a living wage. I'm going to try to hire as many disabled people as possible that are able to do the job I need them to do. If I'm given an option of an abled person able to do the job and a disabled person able to do the job, but they need some extra equipment or settings or time to do the job, I'd rather hire the disabled person than the regular person. Reason being is that that regular person can go to any job and get hired right away. Someone with a disability trying to get hired doing a specific job is going to be 10 to 100 times harder for them. And so I'd rather hire that person that's going to have a harder time getting the job than the person that can easily get the job. Yeah, we can do that. There's times where I just jump in game and play for fun, both for City of Heroes and No Man's Sky, and that's what my Discord is for. That's why there's a No Man's Sky section. You can just sit there and say, hey, look, I'm looking at playing No Man's Sky with someone. Or, hey, Controlled, when do you have time free to be able to play No Man's Sky? Sometimes I'm busier than others. If there's a lot of updates happening for each of the games, then I'm gonna have to say I don't have time right now. Like this last, what was it? Just before September, so late August, early September, I was slammed. And the reason I was slammed was No Man's Sky had came out with the Voyager update. the City of Heroes Homecoming server had came up with an update that added Khaleesi's Wharf, a new faction, a new power set, and stuff like that. So I was doing videos for those, and then at the same time, Stars Reach was adding big new content to their pre-alpha. So I was doing videos on those. Plus, at the beginning of September, I had to double up on videos because I was going on a trip mid-September and was going to be out of town for a whole entire week. So I needed to do a week's worth of videos ahead of time so that while I was gone, people would get videos while I was gone. Yeah, no Scrooge McDuck money pit for me. I don't need to live that wealthy. I just like to have a nice, comfortable house to live in. Doesn't need to be big. It doesn't need to be fancy. If I'm living there by myself, it could be a one-bedroom house. You know, small, comfortable. That's all I need. I just want a nice place to rest. You know, it's comfortable to live in. Have my bills paid, and have food. That's all I really need. Yeah. And you know, that's the thing, is these companies are getting really strict with when the you know, the cameras can be on and stuff like that. I remember one job where I was working from home part of the time, you know, during the snow days. They brought up the whole entire thing of me turning the camera off. I'm like, well, it's during my break time or my lunchtime, and I was doing something, you know, because my computer's in my room, and I was changing clothes because it, you know, it was getting too warm in my room, so I wanted to change into like some shorts and a t-shirt. You know, I don't think people want to see me naked, so therefore I shut off the camera. It's my off time, and they tried to complain about that. I'm like, well, I can just bring a lawsuit, and that's a good reason to bring a lawsuit, is, you know, privacy. Well, yeah, it does bring back that what they fear they destroy. Well, it's also the reason why you hear a lot of people, you know, that's the whole entire thing about the conservatives. They don't want the new. They want to keep the status quo. They don't want things to improve. They're used to and comfortable with how things are. Why should things change? Why make things better? They're good enough as is. I'm of the thought process of things could always be better. I'm the thought process of that healthcare should be affordable and not put you into debt, and that, you know, it's important because if you're sick, a lot of people want to go back to work. And the way that they can get back to work is by going and seeing the doctor, find out what's wrong, and get themselves better. But yet they end up having to put themselves in debt because of having cancer or, you know, other things that happen. That's out of their control. Missed that one guy, that's okay. Took her out quick, so that's good. That's gonna go. Dropped exactly what I needed. There we go. Both of them. I needed. I'm gonna sit here for a moment. Not gonna use my rest because it's only endurance. My endurance will come up quickly. Yeah, you're right with that. There are a lot more people who are greedy and want money and power than there are people who want a good, healthy society. That's a really good point. Current society is more on the 9 to 5, especially in the US. It's just like those people who say fast food workers shouldn't get paid more than minimum wage because that's meant for people who are in high school. Okay, if that's meant for people in high school, guess what? Your fast food restaurants are going to be closed from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Why? Because that's when all the high school kids are in high school. So you're not going to have those restaurants open during that time. If you want it that way, that's what you have to deal with. Other than that, the mothers and fathers and the single adults that are working at the fast food restaurants while the high school kids are in their classes, they need to have a paid living wage. So what direction, Axel, is it going? Because I know you're in the Netherlands. Are they debating on increasing it or decreasing it for the 32 hours? Ooh, that's a bummer to hear about the UK. It goes down from 36 to 32. Okay. And are people excited about that? That's the other thing. Because there's times where the governments do things that the people aren't wanting. And that's a big problem we have here in the US. Okay, so it's driven by the people. So the people actually want it to go from 36 to 32. Well, hopefully the people get what they're wanting. We definitely need to rest up. Oh, short on workers. Oh, that makes things tough. Yeah, having two jobs for every employed person. See, the problem we have here in the US is our minimum wage is so low that for a single person to live on their own in a studio apartment, they need to have 3 jobs. 3 minimum wage jobs. And we're talking full-time jobs. And a full-time job here is 40 hours a week in order to be able to support themselves. And I think that's just wrong. Yeah, there's more people need to understand the difference between can't work and won't work. A lot of people, the majority of people want to work. They want to feel useful. Yeah, they do most of the time lump the two won't work and can't work into one group, and that is very wrong. That's exactly it. The restaurants aren't willing to shell out a living wage to the waiters and waitresses and bartenders and stuff like that to be able to support themselves, and that's why they allow tips. But then you have companies like, fast food restaurants here. Yeah, you may be bringing the food to the table, but you can't accept tips at a fast food restaurant. The fast food companies won't let you accept tips. And I think there was like one time when I was working at a fast food restaurant where I was able to accept a tip, and it was because it was from a group of Japanese businessmen visiting America, and they tipped me. And I took the tip, and the manager pulled me aside and said, "Hey, you can't do that." And I said, "Well, would you rather me be rude to the customer?" And they're like, "No, that's 100% not allowed." I said, "Well, which is worse? Me accepting a tip or me being rude to a customer?" And the manager went, "Well, those are two different things." And I said, "Not in Japanese culture. If I turn down the tip that they hand me and the way they handed it to me, it's disrespectful for me not to take it. It's me being rude to them. So what do you want me to do? Do you want me to be rude to them, or do you not want me to take the tip? I can only do one or the other. I cannot do both." And so I got to keep the tip. Yeah, currently for most waiters and waitresses, tips are a lifeline. I wish we were kind of, we'd follow in the steps of other countries where waiters, waitresses, and bartenders made a living wage just off of the work and didn't have to rely on tips. Because I know that there's several countries, like Japan's one of them. They don't tip in Japan. If you tip in Japan, in a lot of those countries where you don't tip, the owners, get upset when you do, because then they see it as a disrespect to them that they're not paying their employees enough. And so those countries where they are paying the employees a living wage, those owners are right to be upset about their employees receiving tips. Yes, Japan does have a bad life out of work or work life balance type thing. They are all work. Oh shit, I wasn't paying attention to my health. Oops. Oh, that's an interesting way of doing it, just to make a nice even number. But then the thing is the business could just naturally make a nice even number. Ooh, I just looked at the time. I hate to do this, but I haven't seen my chiropractor in like a month. I'm going to be seeing them tomorrow, but I need to keep my back in good condition. So I'm going to have to end the stream, unfortunately. I'm having a great time chatting with you guys, but I need to rest up the back, so I'm going to have to end the stream. I want to thank you guys all for watching, and have a great day. Okay, I just read your guys' message. We did it, and chat had died. Mission complete. Oh my god. Oh, you guys are hilarious. Okay, I'm gone now. Have a good night.